Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel on this Wednesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I'm going to be talking about my hometown MP Tom Hunt, who is the local Conservative MP, and recently he did a video with a local news station called GB News talking about his disabilities, which he has dyslexia and dyspraxia. And I just want to talk about some things that I didn't agree with the video. I will link the video down below in the video description so that you can watch it and gain your own opinion. But I just want to talk through it as someone with an autism spectrum condition and someone who recognises that she is disabled. So let's get into it. First of all, I want to say how brave that Tom Hunt was speaking publicly about his diagnosis in the public media as a politician. So welcome back to my channel everybody. Today I'm discussing Tom Hunt, who is my hometown MP, a Conservative. He recently talked about his recent disabilities in a video interview with GB News. I will say I was a little disappointed with his attitude. He kept using the words overcoming disability, which shocked me. I thought he would have known better as someone with disabilities. I feel by saying overcome disability, this is giving people false hope. Personally, as an autistic woman, I would not ever use the words overcoming disability, as it sounds like you can be fixed. I understand that the language is different to each disabled person who lives with a disability. I agree with Tom that there was not much understanding back in the day of disability that long ago. This was because of lack of research and public stereotype. I also agree with Tom that disability can affect a relationship or how to progress one with another person. I am sure that I am dyspraxic like Tom, as he was describing many symptoms he's had during his childhood and in his adult life, including such things as not being able to do shoelaces or being able to cope with big crowds or having anxiety. Tom is also correct that we need to all process differently, that we all have different brains and we all learn processes differently. I can identify also with being told that I use my disability as an excuse, which is far from the truth. This again is due to lack of understanding. I also agree with Tom that we need better understanding in society with regards to disability, especially towards things like autism, dyspraxia, dyslexia. But I don't agree with Tom that he says that disability is a behavioural issue. Disability is far from a behavioural issue at all. In fact, this is completely inaccurate. Tom, you are disabled. Just because you might say you've overcame your disability doesn't mean you have. It just means that you've gained coping strategies to better succeed in life with regards to your disabilities, to your strength and to your ability. I would never ever say to people that they can overcome a disability, because you never know how the disability affects them. You never know how they can function in society later on in their life. As someone, for me, I learned coping strategies. I've learned to successfully function to a way that people don't think I'm autistic, or they don't think I have problems with eye contact or my speech or my anxiety, because I'm able to put off a persona, a mask, I guess I'm able to mimic, same as what you are in the public media. As a politician, you're able to focus, you've got attention to detail, you've got a lot of work on your shoulders, so you're able to put that work into practice rather than letting your disability get to you, or letting your disability overrule your judgments whilst you're making political statements and political agendas within the House of Commons, or within the House as it's called. But I'm also pleased that Tom did say that regardless of having a disability or a label, that you can function successfully and that you are able to do anything you put your mind to achieve. I think that's a brilliant positive step forward, because especially with disability, there is so much missing nowadays. People always say, oh, because you're disabled you can't, oh, you're disabled, oh, you're vulnerable, oh, you can't. Yes, we can do as many things as the neurotypical population can do. And I'm also concerned with what Tom said about the prisoners who are in the prison system here in the UK, that a lot of them have disabilities such as dyslexia, dyspraxia, or other mental health conditions. That is extremely worrying. That again, we are not looking after the most vulnerable section of our population. Obviously, yes, some prisoners deserve to be in there, but obviously some of them don't. So again, it's about how society looks after our most vulnerable and the most disabled people within our society and constituency. I'm glad that Tom Hunt did speak out on this though, because it shows that his awareness, his acceptance of it is getting better, and that he's able to come to terms with the disabilities that he has or the conditions that he lives with. And I understand that he doesn't see it as a disability, but at the same time, you can't overcome something that you've got because it's just not accurate. You may have masking, you may have coping strategies. It doesn't mean that you've overcome and are no longer disabled. That is absolutely ridiculous and absurd thing to say. We are all disabled in some way. We all have our own disabilities, quirks, flaws that we have every day to deal with. But I'm glad that you did speak out on this and make the public awareness a little bit more better to understand, because I certainly didn't know the full meaning of dyspraxia. I've had to look up myself and kind of have a look and say, oh, I actually identified to you because I'm very clumsy. I just get struggle with my speech. I struggle with big crowds. I struggle with big numbers and big words and processing information because my brain is 6 seconds behind the neurotypical brain. And I think that's why I identify more with you, Tom. And I'm glad that you did raise that point because a lot of people don't see an invisible disability, and dyspraxia, dyslexia are very invisible disabilities. A lot of people don't know that you have them because of the way that you function and come across. Again, I just wanted to make these points known and to say, that I agree with you on some perspectives but not on others. But like I said, I will link the video down below in the video description so people can watch it and make their own opinions and judgments on what they think Tom is right or wrong to say. But again, we've got such a long way still to go with regards to disability awareness, advocating, education, advocacy, because we are still far behind from what we need to be doing. And the sooner we get our minds around the stereotype and educate ourselves and research ourselves, then the world will be a lot better place with regards to advocacy and disability. We shouldn't have to hide, we shouldn't have to be ashamed, and I'm so glad Tom brought that point up. We have still such a long way to go, but the more we work together and push this out in the public media and the public stereotype, the more people will educate themselves and hopefully will make the world a lot more of a better, easier place to understand. So please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will be back next time. Bye guys!